Namaste. My name is Dr. Suhas Ksharsagar. I am an Ayurvedic physician. And on behalf of Kerala Ayurveda Academy, I welcome all of you for this wonderful expression of Vedic wisdom. What I'm going to discuss with all of you today is actually the need of Ayurveda, Ayurvedic medicine, and the Ayurvedic way of life to be practiced not only in the West, but globally, all around the world. Ayurveda as it stands, it's a branch of Vedic literature, which simply means science of life. And it's a very interesting situation that we are discussing, especially in the United States, because we are discussing a medical science which is philosophically oriented. And it will be very interesting to again note why we will be having philosophy in medicine when it has to do with diseases, signs and symptoms and technology and all kinds of diagnostic techniques and tools, that where does the philosophy comes in. And this discussion has really reached to a level where there is a growing need of why Ayurveda has become mainstream. We have recently heard few buzzwords which float in medicine, like mind-body medicine, holistic medicine, integrative medicine. But let me tell you, Ayurveda is not only a mind-body medicine, but it is a true mind, body and spirit medicine. It has been practicing holistic view of life for thousands and thousands of years. It has really preached what we call it as integrative medicine for the modern day and age. It integrates not only different modalities for health and healing, but it integrates the different modalities of life. And that's why we call it a science of life. As a practicing clinician, I always see a variety of different clients who come to my practice, and many times they're having insomnia, they're having hyperacidity, they're having heartburn, migraines, arthritis. And the challenges what they have in their life with their relationship, with their finances, with their children, with their jobs, all of it is going to affect them how their body behaves. And we have understood this psychophysiological connection very well. And for thousands and thousands of years, Ayurveda has actually embraced this concept that we are not a separate entity of the universe, but we are an integral part of this ever-expanding universe. And we should practice medicine which connects us back to the roots of our natural existence. And that is really the reason why Ayurveda has become a mainstream word in contemporary medical sciences. Unfortunately, the ivory castles of this modern medicine, which boasts itself for treating chronic diseases and having a variety of technological tools at its disposal to treat, are actually crumbling. Hospitals are getting filled with people with a variety of chronic diseases which we don't have real answer to. We have an epidemic in this country which is of overweight, obesity, diabetes, cancers, variety of different metabolic syndromes, insulin resistance, hypercholesteremia, you name it. And many of the medications that we have currently do not really have a full-fledged solution to this. So when we turn back to the basic understanding what Ayurveda is all about and how the solution lies not at a mass scale but at an individual scale, at a grassroots level, the key is prevention. And the prevention word doesn't simply mean that we should be popping some vitamin C pills or taking our vitamins regularly or having a miracle exotic drink from other part of the world that we are drinking for prevention. It simply means how well we are connected with our understanding of paying attention to what we eat, what our lifestyle looks like, what work we are doing, how satisfied, how happy we are with our life. There's a wonderful definition what we say about Ayurvedic medicine. It says, Hita hitam sukham dukkham ayustasya hita hitam manam chatacya yatroktam Ayurveda sauchyate. What it simply means that all these different measurements quantifying of the qualities of life. but more importantly, what is good for you, what is bad for you. And in a very relative term, in an individualized manner for different ages, for different people, for different sexes, for qualities of different vocations and professions, what people do, what is more suitable and what is not unsuitable for their living and their doing, what is more clear, and more importantly, what brings more sukha, which is happiness and bliss, and dukkha, which is unhappiness, pain, sorrow, misery. And so understanding those relative terms of what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy is all Ayurveda. We used to say earlier that happy people, healthy people are more likely to be happy. But we have learned this painfully enough that happy people are more likely to be healthy. So Ayurveda is a science which is connected with the nature, which is connected with your individual spirit, which guides you from inside out to tell you exactly how you should be leading your life, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel sick and exhausted and tired. It's the self-referral quality of this science which is one of the most interesting aspects. And it is realized more and more that how we need to educate people, how we need to go to the grassroots level for individualized care for your own self. You cannot outsource your health to a health maintenance organization or an insurance company where you pay a couple of $100 and they take care of you when you're sick. It has to be outsourced to your own self. You should be responsible for your own health. And that's exactly the reason why we have actually started this program called as Ayurvedic Wellness Counselor. Because when you counsel yourself and you counsel everyone else around you with wellness, there's a difference between illness and wellness. Illness starts with I and wellness starts with V, W-E. And so when we talk about our collective responsibility to ourselves, to our society, to our community, living within our dharma, and that's the message of Ayurvedic medicine. It is a message where how can we live ourselves, our life in the harmony of nature. And that harmony is always created with a basic understanding that we are supported with this basic understanding about how we are going to regulate the tendencies of our mind, how we are going to control and regulate the desires of our sensory faculties, how we are able to establish and get stationed in our stable state of intellect, which guides us accordingly to make better choices and create a situation which not only brings health, but creates an evolutionary direction, growth, and enlightenment. In Ayurveda, we always say that health is a byproduct of enlightenment. And that's exactly why Ayurvedic education is very, very important for every individual self. We need to be talking about the basis of Ayurvedic understanding about your own body, the functioning of your own physiology, the way your mind works, how do you generate thoughts, how do you generate your ability to control and regulate the desires of your mind, how to create a healthy, harmonious relationship, how to be a good parent, how to look at your job and work and do your duty where you don't have to really feel stressed out every day you go to work. But you start liking what you do, and you do what you start liking. And so it's an understanding about the totality of life. And that's exactly the reason why we teach Ayurveda, not only in the United States, but all around the world. That is why it is called as the way of life. And when we talk about a way of life, it simply means that it should encompass everything else. Because the sickness, diseases, challenges, problems, they will always come. And they will always affect our body, our mind, all the psychophysiological functioning of the body, the neurochemistry of our brain, all the microcirculatory channels and the pathways, how the body functions. So understanding medicine and understanding real medicine is understanding the intelligence of the nature, which should guide us to invoke the inner intelligence of our body. And that's the reason why we use foods which are healthy, alive, filled with prana, vibrant, and that should be nourishing the body and the cells and the tissues with the greater vitality. And that's the concept of Ayurvedic nutrition. The concept of Ayurvedic psychology is enlivening the moral strength, the functioning, improving your quality of your sensory interaction, your ability to focus on a subject, improve your concentration, and understanding that how important it is for you to slow down the pace of life so that your mind feels much more energized and relaxed, because too many sensory distraction is going to make your mind very, very exhausted. With the current epidemic of these multitasking, where we are surrounded with so much of fast pace of stimulations, whether it is Twitter, whether it is Facebook, whether it is internet, high-speed internet, whether it is the pressures and the deadlines at work, it is all going to affect us in how our mind is going to behave. And very soon, if the mind misbehaves, we'll be creating a very unstable intellect, and that will create a situation where we'll be making choices which are not very healthy for us. So I, as a practicing physician, I always try to understand one thing very importantly to my clients, that how quickly you can learn some things about yourself in a lingo, in a language which is understandable. And that's the strength of Ayurveda. We talk about Vata, Pitta, Kapha, we talk about the Dhatus, we talk about Ama. These are all terms which may sound a bit foreign with different words, but the message is very logical. It always feels as if you knew this all along. And once you have a medical science which you feel connected with, which you feel that you can understand very well, that is the basis of prevention, because you can avert the danger before it arises. And the real prevention happens when you understand the greater purpose of your human life, and creating a situation where all the selections that you make with your lifestyle, with your food, with your entertainment, with your food choices, the herbs, the herbal food supplements that you'll be taking, and all this education of Ayurveda is actually proving to be very, very important, because we cannot really completely stop the onslaught of the diseases which are coming to us, but we can change every individual with the degree of knowledge, with the degree of information. And that is the reason why we have this educational program where through Kerala Ayurveda Academy we teach Ayurvedic wellness counseling programs, and these programs are very effective. These programs are very effective. One of the common testimonials I hear from my students is that it has changed their life. It has changed their life. They have the most important information what they have received and learned, not only at an information level, but something which they are able to apply and implement in their life. And when they are able to apply and implement information in their life, the information becomes knowledge. Knowledge is structured in consciousness. So I welcome all of you to embark on this journey, to study Ayurveda, to learn the simple mechanics of how our body functions, how our mind functions, what are the do's and don'ts, which are very relative and which are very individualized and very specific to your own core needs, how you are able to control your own desires, how are you going to look at the psychology, and how you're going to invoke the psychic potential to be able to be a stronger person, so that you are not feeling anxious with the challenges of life. You create a sense of spiritual freedom and abundance with the liberation what this knowledge brings to you. It is a very powerful message. Ayurveda is a science which I definitely assure you can change your life. It will change your life for good, and you will make a huge meaningful contribution in your life, within your family's life, as well as everyone else which comes in your contact. Because the real gift is the gift of health. Because health will spread and bring everything what you want in your life. And when we talk about this concept of how important health is, how important it is to live within your dharma, how important it is to be able to do something good for everyone else. And that's exactly what Ayurveda is all about. So once again, I welcome all of you for this wonderful journey to become Ayurvedic wellness counselor, to make Ayurveda and yoga as a mainstream science in this country. So thank you and welcome. Namaste.